Hey everyone! Old school Pokemon here, back again with the PokeFlipz podcast premiere, joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan. How are we doing tonight, Dan?
Doing very well. How are you?
Oh, peachy, peachy. Had some issues with eBay Live tonight, but we're over that now.
That is a bummer. Yeah, we're pre-recording this the night before we go live. We will be live in about 20 or 30 minutes. We'll see how long this ends up being to answer your questions. Stay tuned till the end. We did pick one of your eBays at random. This is the segment after the questions where we take one of your eBays and we do a critique. We look at your listings, we look at your page, some suggestions, maybe some lighthearted roast to give you. But yeah, we'll see how that first one turns out. So with that, we'll hop right into the first question. Kai wanting to know, can you make a segment about the food pyramid being a scam created by a big cereal? I think that was actually the second question, and for some reason it came up first. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Around the same time we were learning that food pyramid, I want to say that was 4th or 5th grade, Pokemon was coming out. So thankfully, I don't remember too much about the food pyramid. But pretty much, I guess it's all hogwash. I guess it's not a thing, actually. So anything to add on the old food pyramid? I think mine was never anywhere close to what it was supposed to be, and it's probably not anywhere close to what it's supposed to be today.
Yeah, I hope the food pyramid's a scam because I do not follow it whatsoever.
As long as chicken wings are the biggest pyramid, I'm doing A-okay. But here's the first actual question, I think. Pokey Martin wants to know, can you guys do a video or a segment about your top 3 biggest losses in 2023? What would you do differently? So I was live just earlier today, and my biggest L of the year that I can think of off the top of my head is sitting on my desk in front of me. A little bit of recency bias going on. But 36 packs, 1 9, no 10s. I think it was like 10 7s, and then the remainder was 8s. So what I would do differently is maybe never grade packs again. I think I'm going to try one more time. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I'm probably going to give it one more go. I think that they're starting to take into account the impressions on the pack. So I'm going to look for that moving ahead. Maybe I'll try to mix in some ultra modern and a little bit of vintage, but like I'm talking 25 or 30 packs tops. I'll let Nick share his first big L as well, because I think it's right in the same vicinity as mine.
Yeah, mine is the exact same as yours. When PSA dropped their pack grading pricing down from $50 to $30, I followed the advice of Z&G Emporium and Dan over there with the never punished on pack grading, and I definitely got punished.
Nice.
Um, I opened my last Evolutions booster box and sent all those packs in for grading, and I got the majority of those packs came back as PSA 7. I got a few 8s, nothing above an 8. So that was my first experience grading packs, and that will definitely be my last.
And as far as other losses, top 3 biggest losses, I mean, the year is young, so there's a lot of time to take some L's. Uh, I can't really think of any other ones that stand out. I mean, this one was literally today that the packs came back. But little things
That's
here
a
and there. I mean, buying a card. I've bought a decent chunk of cards on TCG Player, and some of the near mints come back as heavy play and moderate play. There's been times where I mix a bunch of cards together, and then I do my conditioning. So I don't even know who to try to leave negative feedback on or who to try to force a return on. So the first batch that I did, I literally just pulled them all together, and it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll take that out. So minor little things here and there, but nothing too crazy otherwise, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else either. Um, nothing really comes to mind just yet. Not so much sales related or buys or sales related as far as L's, but another semi recent one is me not setting up listings right. I don't know if that would count because now I have to go back and redo them all. which that kind of sucks. But
What did you do wrong with them?
well, just not adding item specifics the beginning of the year because I
Oh,
never thought those were important, and then taking pictures instead of scanning stuff. So now I gotta go back and fix everything at some point. So just do all your listings right the first time.
I did think of one other L that I took. So in Dallas, I was between two prices on a card, and it was a PSA 9 base first Blastoise. I wanted 3,800. The buyer wanted to pay 3,500. We were gonna flip for it. So if anyone doesn't know what that means, how it works, you take a coin, you flip it. It heads, they pay the higher price. Tails, they pay the lower price. Or I think I actually called it. I called tails. The tails, they would have paid the higher price. I took an L because I took a coin from Ray. Ray, being the guy that he is, he gave me a weighted coin, a fixed coin, a rigged coin, and he wrecked me. $300 L right there. So that was probably my second biggest L of the year. Thanks, Ray. uh, um, you want to start on this one since I took the other two? Any particular credit cards you would recommend for an eBay business? I should probably heed that advice finally and get a separate CC for my eBay stuff.
Yeah, definitely recommend separate bank accounts, separate debit cards, separate credit cards. It makes the end of the year so much easier. Me personally, I used to just use one from my bank where I could get 2% cash back on any purchases. So that was nice right there, getting the cash back and being able to use that towards what I actually bought. But recently I got a JetBlue credit card. Because I always fly JetBlue for anytime I'm traveling. And so it's nice because I put everything on the credit card and then I get those free miles to travel for free. So for any of the collecticons that I'm going to, so far I haven't had to pay for any of my flights, which is really nice. And then there's also other perks that you get as well. Like I get two free bags, two free checked bags with any flight, which is nice. Normally those are like 30, 40 bucks. I forget exactly. So that part's nice. And then like I said, you get it's you get one. It's 1 point for every dollar that you spend, or something like that. I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Which is basically 1 mile for every dollar that you spend. So I really like that one, and I'm definitely going to continue to use that one going forward.
I just turned my lighting from red to blue and orange. I forgot I had it on red. Red heated up Dan. It was feeling warm in here, so now everything's toned down. We can relax a little bit. Um, but I personally use the City Double Cash, which is 1% when you buy, 1% when you pay. So it's pretty much a flat 2% on everything. No limits, no special categories. It's kind of annoying to have to remember rotating quarterly categories. I do have a personal card that does that, but the other card I have is an Amazon American Express like business card. It's 5% on Amazon, so it's a no-brainer to use over there. I do buy a fair bit of supplies and things like that over there. Sometimes I'm buying um actual items that I'm sourcing, like inventory too. It's rare. It's been quite a while, but I remember in 2020, 2021 buying like Shining Legends things that popped up at a breakdown plus EV price. But I have heard a lot of people say good things, and I've been meaning to look into it for a little while. A PayPal. I believe there's a PayPal card that does 3% on everything PayPal. I do pay quite frequently with PayPal, so that would be a pretty big one. But other than that, I would say check out nerdwallet.com. Not affiliated by any means, but every time I've been looking for a new credit card, either business or personal, they're just like a website that's devoted to credit card rewards, people who churn credit cards for their sign-on bonuses and things like that. So good website to check out for that stuff. Here's one directed towards me specifically. MetaZoo question for Dan. Are Wilderness booster boxes under $50 and Nightfall booster boxes under $80 must buys? I'm seeing some tempting fire sales. If you do not have one for your collection, I think it's a reasonable buy for a collection. As far as like being a screaming must buy, you gotta do it, put all your cash here first as opposed to anywhere else, I would say absolutely not. I actually did, I scooped 120 Cryptid Nation second edition booster boxes at like, I think I paid 30 a piece. 30 or 35 a piece or something. So I personally bought a bunch. I sell the box topper pack for like 25 or 30 on eBay. And then I get the 36 packs for like $10 after selling the box topper, which is just crazy to me. So I opted for that. That said, if you're buying to invest solely, I think there's better things to buy and invest in, and they're primarily not cardboard. I don't need to elaborate much on that because that's kind of my brand that I'm always pitching that. But if you're looking for flips too, like quick flips, I think there's better flips out there too. And it involves buying single cards and grading them, or buying plus EV product and ripping it and then grading them. So it's a reasonable buy, but it's not the best buy whatever side you're looking at. Unless you're a collector needing that piece, then it's the best price it's ever been if you're in that spot. So that's my take from all angles, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I would stay far away from that unless you're looking to pick up 1, 2 for your own collection. As
And
far as like investing, flipping, all that stuff, I would stay away from MetaZoo.
and one quick thing I'll add is like when Nightfall boxes were like 200, 300, everyone was wanting not everyone, but a lot of people were wanting to invest in them. If you wanted to invest in them at 200 and now they're 80, you should want to invest in them more. The print run hasn't changed unless you're worried about some move that MetaZoo has made that you think has fundamentally weakened it and you think it's more likely to fail. But if you solely think it's going to fail more likely because the prices are down, that's just kind of strange to me, because they have made some like good pivots in my opinion, lowering print runs and things like that. I don't want to turn this into a whole thing, but yeah, at the end of the day, like the item is fundamentally the same. If and when MetaZoo does succeed and exist 5-10 years from now, it will probably pan out in hindsight to have been a good thing. But overall, like I think there's better things even. So yeah, that covers that one, I think. Poke Family Gaming says, I'm looking to convert my basement into a place to house my products, slab, sealed, singles, shipping supplies, etc. If I'm starting with an unfinished basement, what would you recommend that I do to best protect my product? Any other recommendations for running an eBay from home? You want to start with that one? I think there's a lot we can cover here.
Yeah, so specifically talking about like basement storing stuff in the basement, depending on where you live, dehumidifier would probably be the biggest thing. Just to because I know like basements, you get moisture down there, so definitely want to eliminate that. So definitely invest in a good dehumidifier. Um, and then the only other things that I would say for like specifically like basements is get carpeting to make it more homey and less like a warehouse. Um, that would be the only other thing I'd say for like a basement. But I do definitely like the idea of having a dedicated space for all of your stuff, because it definitely does become very overwhelming if you're storing all your stuff in like your living room or your bedroom or wherever. It's way easier to just have a dedicated space so that you can completely organize it and have everything set up the way that you want to have it set up. Organization is definitely key for that type of stuff. To be able to like not only like quickly find cards, be able to pull and pack orders and all of that stuff. So I would definitely recommend getting some like wire shelving units. Like I got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the six shelf wire racks. Those work really good for storing like the monster boxes and anything else. And then you can never have enough table space is another thing that I've learned. So in my office, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables as well. 6 foot 6 or 8 foot tables, I forget. And all of those are full. So I would definitely recommend getting a big space where you can have plenty of room to have those wire shelves, tables, and just stay as organized as possible.
Yeah, any flat surface will find itself filled with something, as is made apparent by the state of my office right now. Uh, you mentioned humidity control. I would go a step further and just say like full climate control. I mean, some basements they can swing. You don't want your room swinging from 40 degrees in the winter to 90 degrees in the summer. I guess 90 degrees is excessive for most basements, but there's a wide varieties of climates out there in our listener base. I mean, literally all around the world. So ideally, keep as close to room temperature conditions as possible. Something like 70 degrees Fahrenheit, about 20 degrees Celsius, and then relative humidity around 50%. The tighter you can hold everything, like the way my office is set up, it's between 60 and 65 temperature wise most of the year, pretty much. And then it's 40 to 60% relative humidity. Even slightly tighter than that if I have my full say about it. But really extreme days can vary a bit more. And that's whether, that's wherever you're at. Because one thing you need to watch out for, there are banks, there are safety deposit boxes in more exotic climates around the world. They might not have climate controlled bank vaults. So you need to watch it, like whether you're in a basement, an attic, a garage, a safety deposit box, climate is always important to be controlled. Another thing to add, keep it off the floor. Maybe it's not a huge relevant thing where you're at. Like my house personally, it's not really a thing. If my basement were ever to flood, the neighbor next door to me would just be like, the house would be fully underwater. I'm like on a hill. There's really no way that like water could divert to where, if it's filling up my basement, something insane is going on. That said, like where my parents currently live, they were right next to a creek. They had one big flood that like a bridge got dammed up. The bridge actually got like caved in. It diverted the creek into my parents' basement. I remember I woke up one morning, there was 6 feet of water, like a full flooded basement. So if you're somewhere, and then in between those two extremes, I guess, there are some people around me, fairly wet areas, they have sump pumps that just run semi-continuously. Like they're just constantly have redundancy in your sump pumps, I guess, if you have sump pumps. But at a minimum, like, know your basement, know your area, and if it does ever get wet, get pallets, invest in pallets. I know Mason made the video where he had water on the floor in like his warehouse. If all that stuff was on pallets, in hindsight, obviously, not touching the walls, so keep stuff off the walls, keep stuff up on pallets. That will probably help you in most instances. But if you're dealing with 6 feet of water, everything's going to be swimming. So going deeper, you did mention any other recommendations for running an eBay business from home. The standard P.O. box as your return address, P.O. box for shipping things, security system. Cameras are so cheap. There's so many like DIY options out there for security and safes and all that. Nick mentioned wire rack storage, safes for more valuables, safe deposit boxes for even more valuables, insurance policies. There's so many things you can cover here, but I think that that's a pretty lengthy list that can get you started at least. I guess I've never had the issue, but probably certain people, certain times, totes to keep like any kind of critters from getting into things. I can imagine that rodents, mice, depending on what kind of warehousing situation you're in, you don't want things eating through your booster boxes, right? I know I don't keep any product there, but I have like a back garage that I keep my lawnmower and stuff in. And there's like birds in there and mice and all kinds of crap that I would never want cards out back there. Anything else to add on that one, or?
No, I think we covered that one pretty good.
Yeah. Noiser PXE says, question, is it not worth it to place marketing/business cards in packages that need to be sent to eBay's authenticity guarantee locations? I'm assuming they only ship the card in their own packaging. Thanks. Very small sample size. I rarely buy through the eBay authenticity guarantee, but I have had business cards come, and I've also had buyers buy through the authenticity guarantee, subsequently follow me on Instagram, send me a picture saying, hey, thanks, and it's the card and the business card. So They might miss it sometimes, but overall, I think they do generally forward the business card along.
Yeah, and it's they're so cheap anyway, that I would just include them in any package that you're sending.
One thing I do get occasionally that I just thought about, occasionally I'll get a slip inside of a package that says like, hey, next time you buy from me, don't buy on eBay, like contact me here, save X amount of %. They might toss those ones if those come in. Now that I think about it, and that's kind of a funny little segue that we'll do into our eBay review. So yeah, let me switch over to the screen share. So I believe it's Caascollectibles. That is who won the random. I think we had 5 people propose their eBay pages. We just did a random number generator. It hit 2. Caascollectibles was the second one. So congrats, you won the little mini lottery to be critiqued. I guess Nick, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, so we were looking at your store before we started recording, and you're actually doing quite a good job, sir. So congratulations on that. I really liked the layout of your store. The scans that you're doing, top notch. Keep those up. Don't be like Dan and take pictures. And then even your complete sets where you have the complete like common, uncommon sets. Even the pictures that you have with those, I think are really good. I know it takes a lot of time to fan out all those cards and make them look good, but I think in the end it's definitely worthwhile to do that over
Like
just
that
kind
one.
of have everything stacked up, or just kind of like just in a complete mess, just scattered across the floor or whatever. So definitely keep that up. It does definitely help your listings, in my opinion. But then, Joel, do you want to talk about the overall look of the store and then hop into the listings?
Yeah. So overall, sorry, I was trying to queue up an image I forgot to add to the OBS, but 100% feedback, killing it right there. I really like the uniformity. I don't know if it's scans or photos, but you got the nice uniformity. You got the nice Caascollectibles watermark. So I really like the layout of all that. Not too much negative to say. I mean, little nitpicky things that I don't know if I'm doing it the optimal way, but you're basically looks like more doing the PSA style of titling format. I prefer to just have the grade out front. I don't know which way is optimal, but yeah, I think you're doing more like what James does, the NG Emporium. I know that I think I copied Rusty like 8 years ago. I do like PSA 10, Gem Mint, Japanese Expedition, Kingler. Like, how many people actually search by the year? If there's something else more useful, maybe you could put something in, depending on the title, depending on the card, depending on the set. Maybe you have the space to fit the year, so you can just throw it in there. But there might be other cards that come up where the year is just a little bit excessive, and there might be something more optimal to put in there. So maybe just keep that in mind.
Yeah, the year would definitely be the first thing I take out if you are running out of space. If you had something where you still have space, then yeah, that's fine.
Yep. And then did you want to go with some of the more in-depth feedback?
Yeah, so my biggest thing is, so now that we're done with the kind of overview, clicking on the listings. My biggest thing with the listings is first off up at the top with your handling time. Um, your handling time is 5 business days. Which if you're someone who's busy and you can only ship once every 5 business days, okay, that's fine. Well, I'll give you that one. But if you're consistently shipping stuff next day or 2 days or whatever the case may be, 100% lower your handling time, because that I think that's a big deterrent for for eBay buyers is seeing how long it's going to take them to actually get that card. Today's living today,
Instant
everyone is
gratification. Yeah. Amazon.
everyone is used to Amazon.
Yep.
With the same or 1 day delivery. So we're obviously not going to be able to compete with Amazon, but you do want to be close. So I would definitely recommend looking into that. Like I said, if it's something where you can't ship stuff quicker than 5 days, then you're doing the right thing. But if it's something where you can ship stuff quicker than 5 days, definitely recommend looking into lowering that down to whatever the case may be.
And I will say that up until like 2 years ago, I think I had 5-day handling time on everything. I shipped twice a week, but there were instances where like one of the 2 times of the week, I wasn't able to make it. So I just wanted to set the expectations low. If there was such an impatient buyer that was going to be a deterrent, I'm like, please don't buy from me like 5 days. I think even now in my description, I probably should change it. But in the bottom of my description that no one reads, I think it says I ship everything within 2 days, even though I do 1 day realistically for everything. I have 1 day set, but in my description, it says 2 days. I should fix that. But yeah, given that you only sell graded cards, it's not like you're selling playable cards for decks. It doesn't look like everyone should be able to be patient enough, but Nick makes a valid point. Some people might filter by handling time. Some people might filter you away because they might say 2 days handling or less, 1 day handling or less. So just bear in mind that you could be losing buyers even searching out your items because of that through filters.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other thing that came up to both Nick and I saw your condition description says Caascollectibles on all platforms, all in capitals. Message me for any questions. And then I think Nick caught the one where it says Caascollectibles on IG for further inquiries / questions. Wasn't there another one where it said, oh yeah, right here. So that one, this one says Caascollectibles on IG for further inquiries / questions, which is more fine. I think this one really stands out, and I'd be surprised if eBay didn't have an issue with it. Hopefully eBay's not watching. But Caascollectibles on IG for further inquiries / questions, and the best price is winky face. Clearly looking at circumventing eBay fees. If and when eBay were to notice that, you could actually be penalized for that. So I would just be cautious about that. Hopefully, I'm not going to tell anybody, but I guess we're kind of telling the viewers right now. So potentially watch out for that. There was one other...
that is something I would watch out for too. I agree with Dan on that one. I know there's you're not alone there. There's plenty of people who do that. Either in the description, or they'll have their last picture will be a picture of, or a screenshot of their Instagram page or whatever.
Yep.
But just be careful with that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, eBay is providing a service. If they're finding you the buyer, I think they're due their wage for that. They're due their cut. Some people disagree. It is what it is, whatever. I keep all my stuff on eBay. I will say, you are smashing it with the item specifics. You have way more item specifics than I do. You do need to be careful, though. If and when you start using a lot, one thing I found myself doing, I was trying to use a ton, and I was doing sell similar, and I was making errors. Right here, you have certification number for your Kingler. I only looked at 3 cards, and I already found 1 issue. So I'm assuming that out of your 200 items or 150 items, you probably have dozens of examples. This will get declined through eBay Authenticity Guarantee. Thankfully, this one's under $250. But if this item was like $300, and if the photo showed CERT 7311 and your description said CERT 7215, that would be declined, and that would be sent back to you, and it would just be wasted time and wasted money. So I will say it's great how many item specifics you're using. Just be a little careful, because if you're using so many that you're constantly getting ones wrong, you're either going to be causing yourself a headache, or you're going to be just, leaving yourself open to returns and issues.
Yeah, that's a good one there. But congratulations on all the item specifics. You do a lot better than I do, and Dan does.
Yeah, overall, like your eBay page is absolutely killing it. Like we looked at some of your sales. You've got some big sales in there. You've got a pretty decent sales volume, killing it on the feedback. I mean, 213 feedback in the last year. That's over a sale a day. I mean, for a lot of people, that puts you up, like, I don't know what percentile that would be, but it's up there. I mean, to sell 1 item a day on average or more, because I know, like, my feedback ratio, I think I have 60,000 items sold and 20,000 feedback. So if you extrapolate that same, like, feedback percentage, you're selling almost 2 items a day every day. That's solid.
Yeah, no, definitely. One other thing while I'm looking, while you were talking there, not you can it's not the biggest thing. I know Dan doesn't do it. I do it myself, but on the majority of items that you have listed, you have best offer enabled, which I 100% agree with. But there's a few items, like more so your lower price stuff. Like you have a reverse hollow Mewtwo listed for $44.99. Buy it now only. I would include best offer on all of those listings. Where the vast majority of your listings already have it, I would just go back and include best offer on everything. Even if you don't want to take anything lower. Well, maybe that's an extreme example, but even if you only want to go like a few dollars lower, I would still include it, because I think buyers are more apt to be interested in an item when you have that best offer enabled. And once they kind of start sending you offers and you're counter offering and all of that stuff, I think people feel more invested into that item, versus if it's just strictly buy it now. They might click on it and then go away. And then one other thing that I just saw was you have free shipping on, again, the vast majority of your listings. But there's 2 listings that I'm seeing now that are plus shipping. And again, that is fine too. But I think free shipping is definitely the way to go from my experience. I like doing free shipping on everything.
And I forgot to point this one out, but for whatever reason, most of your items were showing 5 business day handling time. This Cresselia has something weird going on where it's saying that it's not going to come until the end of June. Most of your items are saying like early mid-June. This one is standing out, saying that it has extended handling time. So I would just, you can select all in your store. You only have a couple of 100 items. You can do them all at once. You can select all, and you can do 5 business days handling time, or 2 or 1, whatever's applicable in case you want to review it and get it down. eBay does, to some extent, increase your search results if you have faster handling time. So as Nick said, if you're actually functionally doing 2 days or 1 day or whatever it may be, you should look into revising them all to apply to what you're actually doing. And then the whole buy it now versus buy it now best offer. I think Rusty made a good point, going back a couple PokeFlipz where I was going to have that whole 1,200 firm on my Moonbryon. Once you show that you're willing to take less money, why is anyone going to pay the full amount? So me personally, price it as what you'd take as a buy it now, and when they want to buy it, they'll just buy it. Trust me, you'll still get a lot of offers. I guess I can go back full screen. Trust me, you'll still get plenty of offers. I don't have offers on hardly anything. I get offers every day, at least a dozen times. So offers will still come in. They'll just be less frequent. And instead of having to take $240 for your $250 item, you'll get the full $250 for it. People get weird with offers too. Some people, it's like, oh, he's got it listed for $250 with best offer. If he doesn't come down at least 10%, I'm going to be annoyed by that. I'm going to be frustrated. I've heard that before. I've seen that in Discords. I've heard that mentioned by other people. He's accepting best offer and he's not coming down more than $5. Like, what's going on here? It's just weird to me. I don't know. I don't want to play the whole best offer game. But yeah, overall, killing it. Appreciate everyone who threw their names in the ring. We'll do this again in 4 weeks. And other than that, anything before we transition to the live? This was a little lengthier one.
No, I think we're good. Thanks for letting us review your eBay store, and thanks everyone for the questions. We will see you here in a minute.
If I did it properly, you will be transitioned over in about 10 seconds. Thanks.